Hi kids, this is Miss Sharon with Ridgeview Kids Club. I'm so glad you joined me today. And I'm looking for my friend Scruffy. Scruffy? He's not in here. I think he's hiding. Scruffy, where are you? Maybe he's playing hide and seek. I don't see him anywhere. Oh, maybe he's hiding in this basket. Let me check. Scruffy, are you in here? Scruffy, are you in here? There you are. What are you doing in the basket? You're hiding? Why are you hiding today? Really? So you were hiding because someone was chasing you and you were afraid. Is that right? Okay, well look around and see if they're still here. Do you see them? So I think it's safe to come out. What do you think? You think it's safe to come out? Okay, let's check, make sure. Yeah, I don't see anyone. I think you're safe now, Scruffy. Well, I'm glad you brought this basket today because this basket reminds me of our story. In our story, someone was hiding and they used a basket to help them escape. Did you know that? Okay, well, can you help me tell our story today? Our story is from Acts 9, verses 19 through 25. And today, when someone is afraid in our story, can you look scared? Okay, show me. Look scared. Okay, and when we say Jesus, can you look up to heaven? Just like that. Perfect. Jesus. Excellent. Okay? Well, last week we learned that Saul had been a big bully to Christians. But then he met Jesus on the road to Damascus when he was blinded by a light. And Jesus made him new inside. Well, once Jesus made Saul new on the inside, Saul couldn't wait to go to the synagogue and tell all the people there that Jesus is Lord. So every day Saul went to the synagogue or church in Damascus and preached that Jesus is the Son of God. He was a powerful preacher, but the people who heard him in the synagogues were confused and said, "Isn't this the same man who was supposed to come and get rid of all the Christians?" The Jews were angry and wanted to do something to stop Saul from preaching. They couldn't figure out a way to stop him from preaching about Jesus. So finally, the synagogue leaders decided to kill Saul to keep him from telling people about Jesus. They planned to put spies at the city gates to see when Saul left. Then they would kill him. But Saul and his friends heard about their plan. So Saul's friends came up with a plan to save Saul's life. They hid Saul and waited until it was night. Then they had Saul sit in a basket. You're going to pretend to be Saul right now. They had him sit in a basket, and then they lowered the basket with ropes over the city wall, just like this. Saul's friends saved Saul's life, but Saul lived and continued to preach about Jesus. What a changed man he was. Jesus had made Saul new inside. The old Saul was hunting Christians, arresting them and hurting them. But the new Saul was telling others about Jesus. Scruffy, remember how you were hiding in the basket because you were afraid? Well, Saul's friends hid him and saved his life by helping him escape in a basket. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned that God's Son Jesus can make us new inside just like he made Saul new. If God can change a man like Saul, who was a bully, he can change us too, can't he, Scruffy? Well, thanks so much for listening to our story today. And Scruffy, thank you for helping me tell it. You were great. Thanks for being such a good helper. Now we have a fun science activity today that relates to our story. Scruffy, can you help me in the science lab today? Excellent. Well, we're going to go get our lab coats on and get ready to do our science experiment. We'll see you in just a second. Scruffy, I see you're ready for our science experiment today. You've got new goggles and a lab coat just like me. We're like twins. Are you ready to help? Excellent. Well, in today's Bible story, we learn that Jesus can make us new inside. In our story, Saul was changed from a bully who was hurting those who followed Jesus to someone who was a follower of Jesus. Well, in today's science activity, we are using vinegar to change an egg. And to do today's experiment, you will need white vinegar, a regular egg that's not cooked, and a glass or a jar. So, yesterday I poured vinegar in a jar and then placed an uncooked egg in the jar. When I placed the egg in the jar in the vinegar yesterday, it had a hard shell, just like this egg right here. Scruffy, can you tap this with a pen so we know this is hard? You can see that that is a hard shell, okay? Now, this egg has been in the jar for over 20 hours, almost 24 hours. Let's see what's happened to it and how it's changed. Okay, well, first of all, it looks bigger than the other egg, and they were the same size yesterday. Now, this is the egg that we have not put in vinegar yet. Remember, this is the one that's hard. And this is the egg that's been in the vinegar for over 20 hours, almost 24 hours. Let's see how it's changed. Okay, that one is not hard, is it? Okay, I'm gonna just play with it a little bit. It doesn't have a hard shell anymore. It's not cooked. It's rubbery though. It's soft and bendable. And when I roll it around, it's rubbery. Now I don't want to break it because it could break, but you can see it kind of bounces a little bit when I drop it, okay? It is very soft and squishy and rubbery. Now, this shell has changed. It's not hard like this one, but it's more like rubber. It has become soft. In our story last week, Saul's heart was hard, just like this one, before he met Jesus on the road to Damascus. This week, we see that Saul's heart has changed, like this egg has changed. This egg is now soft and rubbery, and it changed because we put it in vinegar, just like Saul's heart changed when he met Jesus on the road to Damascus. Now, you can try this experiment at home, and we'll show you what to do. Scruffy's going to help me. You want to make sure that you are careful when handling the egg because it could break, so you'll probably want to do this in the kitchen, right, Scruffy? Or in a science lab if you have one at home. But what you're going to do is you're going to pour vinegar in the jar or glass, and then you're going to put this hard egg in here, and I'm going to do this, Scruffy, because I don't want it to break on you. And then you're going to put that in the jar. Now, Scruffy, watch that and see what happens. I don't know if you can see, but there's bubbles all around it, aren't there? Wow, there's bubbles everywhere. That's what it looked like yesterday at home when we put this egg in that glass of vinegar, wasn't it? Yes. So it's already starting to change. So if you do this experiment at home, you need to keep it in here for about 24 hours or one day, or you can check it and see how rubbery the shell looks. If you keep it in there for an extra day or for 48 hours altogether, it gets even more rubbery and more bouncy, doesn't it? That is such a cool thing. And this experiment, this vinegar changed this eggshell, just like Jesus changed Saul's heart. And this egg and this experiment reminds me of our Bible verse today, which is found in 2 Corinthians 5:17. It says, "This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone and a new life has begun." Now, just like Saul became new and he was changed inside, we can be changed on the inside when we give our life to Christ. Can't we, Scruffy? Yes. Now make sure when you do this experiment at home that you wash your hands after handling it, because these eggs are not cooked. So you want to make sure you wash your hands and clean up afterwards. And make sure you do this in the kitchen. So if you drop your egg, You don't make a mess everywhere. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. Scruffy, thank you for helping me. You were such a good helper. Can you say bye? Bye. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week.